Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at these two light offerings from Nextorch. You've got the P210 and then you've got the TA30C. They're both pretty cool lights and I do kind of like them, but I want to show you some of the quirks that I found with them that I think would be a super easy upgrade to make these lights absolutely perfect. So we're going to quickly kind of go over the P210 here, and this is the box that it comes in, and you can tell it is a 1400 lumen max output little right angle light. If you are familiar with the Olight series, this is the Perrin 2, and size comparison, they're very, very similar in size. The Olight is just a hair taller, maybe 1/8 of an inch taller, but pretty much same circumference. Obviously right off the bat, you can tell the Olight's got that magnetic base. This P210 does not have a magnetic base. But some of the main features of this light that I think make it pretty cool is it's just easy to use and pick up. I know when I've been camping, my wife has picked up this Olight, and if you're not used to the Olight world, they're a little difficult. When she cut it on, it was on full brightness and it was way too bright. She couldn't figure out how to turn it off, how to dim it down. But I mean, I love my Olights, but if you're not used to the user interface, they can be a little tricky. This little P210 is dead simple. So to turn it on, you've got a little pressure switch up top, and if you lightly press on it, that's where you're going to get your 1400 lumens. So you're going to get that output as long as you keep that button pressed just slightly. There's no cutoff time until your battery runs dead. You can let go, the light cuts off. If you full press, you'll hear a click, and it goes straight to a medium setting. Now here is the listing of all the lumens and the outputs and the run times. I don't want to have to go over that and bore you folks, but just know when you pick this thing up, if it's sitting on your table, your son grabs it, your daughter grabs it, your wife grabs it, whatever, they give it one good press, it's going to go to that medium setting. Once it's here, they're going to have light, okay? If you want to change the outputs, you can half press, and it's going to cycle through your 4 settings, your low, medium, high, and strobe. And sorry about that strobe warning. But that's pretty simple, and to cut it off, obviously, just press and hold. The one thing that I don't like about this is there's no memory mode. So if I go in here and I put it on the lowest setting, and I cut the light off, and I cut it back on, it goes to the medium setting. It will not go back down to that low setting until I half press that top button. I wish that was a feature that it had memory, but this light does not have memory, guys. So, you know, that's one of the weird things about it. This light is all aluminum alloy with a stainless steel pocket clip. It is not a deep carry pocket clip, but for a right angle light, I don't think you really need that. And these right angle light, guys, if you've never used one, are absolutely perfect. I love being able to just set it down on the table, set it up here on a shelf, angle it to wherever you need. They're just actually really, really useful lights. And I haven't used one a whole lot until I started collecting Olights, and I use this all the time. I love this little light. So I'm a pretty big fan of these right angle lights. You know, put it in your molly strap or in your vest or in your backpack, and you carry it around, and you're kind of hands-free. The battery inside it, well, let me show you how you charge it first. So there is no external charging port on this light anywhere. To charge the light, you take out this battery, which is an 18650 battery, and this particular battery has got that micro USB charging directly on the battery. And there is a charging indicator on this battery. When you plug it in, you'll see it on the top once it starts charging. So there is a bit of an indicator. And there also is an indicator on this light once you have this battery in. It's going to flash 3 times white if you're 20% or less, or if your battery has 10% or less, this light's going to flash 6 times, letting you know, go get this thing back in the charger. But it comes with an extra set of O-rings to put in the tail cap, and it just screws on. Now this is IPX8 water rated. You can drop this thing in the water and you're gonna be fine up to 2 meters for 30 minutes. So this is very, very waterproof, and that's one of the reasons I believe that they kind of left out the charging port on the outside of this light. And that helps with the IPX8 rating. You can tell it's kind of got a semi-dimpled reflector, not too much. This is more of a thrower than it is a actual floodlight. And I'm going to throw up some night shots of all these lights so you can kind of see what it looks like in the night. The other thing about this light is it's got a side button right here, and if you press and hold that, you're going to get your flashing lights. It's got a blue LED, a red LED, and a red and blue at once LED. You can click that once and it's going to go to your red blink. You can click it again and it's going to go to your blue blink. Click it again and it's going to go back to alternating red and blue. press and hold, cut it off. Where I think that Nextorch really kind of missed the mark on this light, they gave us no function to have a solid red light for nighttime. I know it's there, that red LED is in there. There is no function on this thing to actually have a solid red light for night vision. This light, I guess, is geared more toward emergency response people or whatever, but if they would have just included an option to have that red LED actual constant on to use as night vision, this light would have been almost perfect. Overall, I do like this light, but I think it really missed the mark on the fact that you cannot have a constant red on this. But I just really think that they should have included a solid red function. That would have made this light absolutely perfect. But other than that, I do like it. I think it's a nice little light. And for 65 bucks, I believe my Olight Parent 2, if you don't get them on sale, are around 115. And here are some night shots of this light. I'm just gonna cycle through some of the modes and let you guys kind of see what the pattern is like on this light. And then we're gonna go straight to the TA30. Okay, so this is the Nextorch TA30C. And this little light, guys, this is the first light that I have that actually has this type of user interface on it. And I'm gonna go over it with you, but I think it's pretty slick. Different, but pretty slick. So to start off, this light comes in at 99 bucks on Amazon. It is a 1600 lumen on turbo searchlight. Well, I'm going to call it a searchlight. It is a thrower. It is not a floodlight. This is a tactical light only. So it is going to throw that light downstream a whole lot more than it's going to provide a flood. And in fact, they claim 303 meters off of this one LED emitter. It is a perfectly smooth reflector in there. So you do get a nice round hot spot when this thing throws out there in the field. And again, I'll show some night shots of this thing at the end of this so you can kind of get a better idea. And just like the P10, guys, there is no external charging port on this light anywhere. So it is IPX rated. You can drop this thing in the river, go back and pick it up, and it's going to work. But to charge the light, you unscrew the tail cap, and you've got, again, another 18650 battery. This one, on the other hand, uses a Type C charging cable. So I do like this more than the P10. You do have to take the battery out to charge it. Now, this light also comes with a sleeve that you can insert in that tube, and you can put two CR123A batteries in it as well. So you got different options of batteries that this light will take. But we'll go ahead and get that back in. And it does come shipped with a few extra O-rings. And again, all aluminum body, stainless steel pocket clip. It is not deep carry, as you can see here, but they're marketing this as a tactical light, okay? So what makes this thing really, really different, in my opinion, is it's got one tail button switch, which is a metal switch. There's no rubber on this light. This is a metal switch. When you lightly press, you're gonna get your 1600 lumens. Press in all the way, and it goes straight to strobe. Let go, and you're off. I like that function. I like being able to pick up a light, hold it in my hand, hit that tail switch, and I got light. If I need to strobe someone, press it, you got strobe. Done. Now, what makes this thing different than all my other ones, there's no buttons on this light except for that tail switch, right? It has a magnetic rotary dial that, if you can see here, it's got the letters TAC for tactical mode. It's got your low mode, your medium mode, your high mode, and then your strobe. So to go to different settings on the light, you turn this dial. So right now it's on tack. I'm going to turn it to low, and there's your low mode. Turn it again to your medium, turn it again to your high, and then turn it one more time, and it's going to be a constant strobe. That's pretty cool. I like it. It's something different I haven't seen yet. So I'm going to put it back on low, and when you're in low mode, if you hit this tail switch, it still goes into that turbo 1600, and if you press it hard, it goes into the strobe. It's same for all these settings. If I'm in medium, I can press that tail switch, it goes to turbo. Press it again, it's going to go into strobe. And when you turn the switch back to tactical, it does have a battery indicator. You can see here that it just kind of illuminated blue. And here's all the different colors that you're going to see on that tail switch to let you know where your battery stands. So it does have a bit of a battery gauge monitor, which is pretty convenient. I do like that. It's a little bit different. But one kind of quirky thing about this light, they both have their quirks. There is no lockout mode on this light. There's nothing on this ring to put it in lockout. Now granted, this tail switch doesn't click, it doesn't lock. So if I have it in tactical mode and I throw it in a bag or in my pocket, this button has to be pressed in pretty hard for it to keep, you know, emitting light. So I'm not too worried about it burning a hole in my pocket or burning a hole in my bag. But if you do turn it to one of these different settings, low, medium, or high, there is no proximity sensor. So that will get a little bit warm if this rotary dial happens to move in your bag. I don't think that's a very good design. I think there should be some type of lockout feature on this ring to where you can turn it and, you know, put a little push button lock or a slide lock or something on this dial so you can't just freely move this thing if you throw it in a bag. I don't think it would really happen to where this dial would get moved, but there is that possibility. So I think that they kind of missed the mark on this light by putting some type of lockout feature on this rotary selector. And lastly on this light, which makes it more tactical, I guess, is it's got that titanium bezel and you got 3 ceramic beads embedded in that bezel. So if you ever have to break glass or break open a window or do something of that nature, these little beads are gonna help obviously break that glass. These are incredibly hard material, the ceramic material, again, encased in that titanium bezel. So that's a pretty cool little design feature, I think, of this light. It's just a neat little light. I don't have any lights that have that rotary switch, which I think is fun. So here's some night shots of this light so you can kind of get an idea of the beam pattern and what you're gonna get with all different modes. And we'll come back and give final thoughts. All right, so gang, these are the 2 lights that I have from Nextorch. I think they're good lights. I will honestly probably not carry this P210 with me on my camping trips solely for the fact that it doesn't have that constant red on. Nextorch, if you're listening, if you have this light, if you add a red constant, this would almost be a perfect right angle light that I would take with me on a camping trip. I will probably stick this in our RV because again, it's easy for my kid to grab, it's easy for them to pick up and to turn it on, but without that constant red light, it doesn't really serve me a very good purpose because I do use red lights a lot while camping, but for 65 bucks, I think it is a nice light. The TA30C is just a cool light, honestly. I love that I can pick it up, half press this tail switch, and I've got 1600 lumens coming at you, or if I have to strobe you, it's just an easy switch. No proprietary batteries involved in these. You can use standard batteries. You'll just have to find a way to charge them if you don't get the batteries with the built-in USB Type-C or micro USBs to charge that battery, but it'll take standard batteries that you can pick up pretty much anywhere. But other than that, gang, they're pretty cool lights. I do like them. This one could be perfect. This one could be perfected if it had a lockout feature on this tail cap. I guess not everything can be perfect, but I think they are pretty good lights. So gang, I'll put a link to both of these lights in the description below if you want to check them out for yourself. But until next time, thanks for watching and take care.